but 5 tackle busts and 108 metres. For the losing Wakefield side, I'm very pleased to see Tom Johnson back, making 12 tackle busts and 149 metres. Ryan Hampshire, 105 metres, 2 clean breaks. Kalepi Tanganoa, 120 metres. And Joe Westerman scoring a try and making 5 tackle busts. We did have some fan views on this one.
Yeah, we'll start with Tom Andrews, who said, well, the doom and gloom has been lifted for now. Impressive displays across the field. Crooks, Staunton and Minchella stood out. First half was all about Rob Hicks showing off his new whistle, but in fairness, he was consistent in his calls. For Wakey, Orton was shy. Who's Orton? Broughton? No, he didn't play for them.
Randy Orton, the WWE wrestler from the early noughties.
Miller was invisible, and it was only Mr. Loose Keys who knocked. And it was only Mr. Loose Knees who looked to be at the races. Time to get the hazmat suit out for next week. Hashtag RRTR.
Wakey White said, really poor quality game with both sides making loads of errors in a scrappy and windswept game. I mean, you were at Craven Park. What did you expect? The difference was that Wakey's mistakes were made every time we got a bit of rhythm going. Fair play to Hull KR, thought some of their young lads put in a good shift, but don't think anyone can read too much into this result. Brough has done his ACL too. Maybe not, as it subsequently turns out. If we fell in a barrel of tits, we'd still come out sucking our thumb.
And Carsten said, did somebody mention Ben Crooks already? Sad news about Danny Brough is definitely going to face an extended timeout, it seems, even if he might not be done for the year. So good luck to him in his recovery. That will be a big factor on Wakefield, who are already without their fullback, aren't they? Their first choice fullback, Alex Walker. Yeah. So they're already a pivot down, as it were. So that's a problem. But what did you make of the game?
I thought it was an odd game. It just through the not necessarily tries coming from where you'd expect, slightly different in terms of Ben Crooks picking up some of the sort of highlight stuff rather than perhaps Sean Kenny-Dow, who you'd expect to have been more dominant on the back line, but he's still settling in. Some good forward performances seem to drive it through. Garbutt again, fantastic. And yeah, Wakefield just looked a bit disjointed from the highlights that I saw.
The one thing that stood out to me was that Minikin's tackle on Tom Johnson in goal.
Yes, that he put him in to touch. Yeah,
that seemed, even though it must have come relatively early on, seemed to be a pivotal point. That because one thing we could only say is you capitalised on your opportunities, they didn't. And that was one of those examples of what doesn't show up on the stat sheet is an amazing tackling goal. Yeah,
and it would be interesting actually to had that been a TV game where it could have been reviewed, and would that have changed momentum in terms of if the break, if nothing else, even if it was sent up as no try, just that break, but being able to beef straight back up again and get going, that probably did very well. Really looks like he has clicked already, which is good because you're sort of worried the last couple of years he could have been one of the great lost talents that he'd sort of promised so much and disappeared. But it looks like he might have found some rhythm and somewhere to slot in.
Yeah, any of the particular tries stand out? On you've mentioned a few of the stars, but any of the particular moments stand out?
I can't remember which one of Crooks it's one, but it's the one where he did the sort of wraparound play that was particularly good.
Cool.
I can't remember which one it was, but there we go.
Positive start, though, to the season that we were not predicting, I suppose, for Hull KR, although I tipped him to win. It was the last, I think, as good as it got for me, but...
I did from blind hope rather than anything else, but there we go. Also on Friday night, it finished St Helens 48, Salford 8 in front of the Sky cameras, and 12,008 people. Yeah, definitely those 8. They were definitely there. And it was 18-2 at half-time with Mr. Liam Moore running the whistle. In terms of statistics, now there were more than twice as many metres and more than twice as many breaks. Saints bossed this one with the ball. Without the ball, hugely impressive 96% team tackle success rate.
Yeah, they were ominously good.
They were worrying. Like, it was just, you couldn't see where anything was going to come from. In terms of that winning Saints side, Alex Walmsley scoring 2 tries, making 162 metres. Luke Thompson, of course, he gets himself on the stat sheet. 5 tackle busts, 157 metres. Johnny Lomax, 3 try assists, 110 metres. James Bentley, 1 try assist, 46 tackles, and 12 marker tackles. For the losing Salford side, Gil Dudson putting in his solid and dependable shift as always with 40 tackles. James Greenwood, 44 tackles. Luke Yates, 41 tackles. And Joey Lussig, 48 tackles. Yeah,
the hard work was there.
I was going to say Dudson, Greenwood and Yates, that is a tackling unit, isn't it, between them?
Well, Yates is in a lot of fantasy teams, I'm sure, for his tackling.
And it's just a shame this year he'll be overvalued. We'll be back to full value rather than undervalued as he might have been last week. Anyway, we had last year. Even we have lots of fan views in this one, starting with Stuart Wood.
Yeah, Stuart said, "I think the Stains might give the Wolfpack a run for their money this season."
PRB 1976 said a dominant performance from St Helens. Lomax controlled the game and guided St Helens around the field. Salford lacked a leader in the middle. Saints will be tough to beat this year.
Carsten said, Saints running like a well-oiled machine again, and Salford have not clicked. I have no clue what the ref was doing in the first half, but that new play of the ball rule clearly means play the air. Coote with very good eyes and Ken Seo, but Saints were back to business after that. Saints as good as expected, Salford with room to improve.
Aidan Stalker, Luke Thompson is ridiculous and Salford is shite. Nothing else much to say, really.
Paul Chamberlain said, a bit like watching the mighty Reds in football, it was a sad day when you can watch a side like Saints destroy another team and feel a bit indifferent about it. They are that good in this league that such a performance is almost taken for granted. Whilst they are clearly still the side to beat, another thing not to change appears to be Coote's role as the player to attract the most shithousery in the league.
Yeah. St David said, new season, same Saints. I was hoping the defence would be strong, and it was. I expected the attack to be rusty. It wasn't. We looked slick, and calm it down. We looked slick, and if anything, improved when Coote went off, as Smith distributed better at 9, and Wellesby got more ball at fullback. What a player that kid is going to be. Bring on the wire.
So what did you make of it then? I mean, dominant from Saints, young players contributing. They were without Roby, they were without... who else? Makinson, and then obviously they lost Coote in the game as well, and they still won at a canter. I
think Lomax dominated this and really stepped up again, and he showed that form he showed towards the back end of last year where he was at full tilt and really going for it. I think that he showed that level again. I'm both bored of talking about Luke Thompson, but also not on the basis of he's just such a player that I admire. He's my sort of player, big, strong forward who has got skills as well. But wow. And you've got to think he's going to make an impact on the NRL when he goes there, because he's just got so much talent. And again, it's that work rate and the fact he just keeps going and going. He must be so horrible to play against.
Yeah, he's not afraid to take more than one hit up. The Saints forwards were just running relentless lines as well as the times they carried the ball too. They just, they have no regard for their own physical health, and it's a quality that I think a lot of other players could.
They looked in very good condition. They looked in very good nick, and as in contrast to say one of Wigan's forwards, for example. Yeah. They looked like they were been on the steak and protein shakes, and they looked like they meant business. And I think we could see a lot going on. And again, benefit of a settled side when you've got that and all that talent and that youth coming through. Why not?
Coote's knee injury, the one cloud, I suppose. They'll be doing everything they can to get him back in for the World Club Challenge. Even though young Jack Wellesby deputised well, I feel like he's still a player that, when put under pressure, will make mistakes more so than Coote, and I think in that sort of game they'll want Coote back, won't they?
Exactly. Yeah, you want your star men in that game showing what they can do, and for him, he's got something to prove, so he'll want to he'll want to show the best he can in that game as well.
And Aaron Smith Esquire's excellent adventure continues. Okay, into the game that we would have enjoyed on Saturday evening on television, if not for Catalans not being able to iron out a TV deal. Instead, we had to follow on how we can. It was Catalans hosting Huddersfield. And actually, a lot of people will be pleased with this result outside of Perpignan. It was 16-6 at half-time to the visiting Huddersfield Giants, and it finished up being a duplicate of that in the second half. 32-12 final score, 8,259 there. Scott Mikolauskas was the referee. It seemed like he had some things to do in this game. The Giants win with 299 more metres, 5 more breaks and 5 fewer errors. They were the better side with the ball. They weren't as good without it. 2.2% worse tackle success rate and 1 more penalty conceded. Although on that discipline front, Catalans hurt themselves with that too, with 2 sin-bin-ins. One cartwheeling tackle from Ben Garcia that did look dangerous, but they've sort of said he was just running in too fast and didn't deliberately put him in a bad position. I thought he should have got a ban for it. And James Maloney, probably unfairly sin-bin for pushing someone in the chest, seemed like, but he is a hothead. Louis Senior with 1 try, 145 metres and 4 clean breaks. Jerry McGilvery, our old friend, with 2 tries, 118 metres and 3 clean breaks. Aidan Caesar with 1 try and 2 try assists, and Lee Gaskell with 2 try assists. Samasoni Lange with 5 tackle busts and 105 metres. Fuad Yahar with 1 try and 5 tackle busts. And Sam Tompkins with 1 try, 6 tackle busts and 2 clean breaks. So not a heavy stats game all around, really, there. But we had some fan views in. Do you want to start with the first of them, the most explosive?
Yeah, Malcolm Matios says, "Cunt karma, sign a cunt, and that's we get."
Alan Walker said, "All wrong, seriously wrong," several exclamation marks.
Tom Andrews said, "Some impressive tries that the packed crowd were going crazy for. Caesar looked impressive. Catalan still grubby bastards. Shout out to 2 things. The Huds players wearing rainbow laces. Yep, good on them. And the one bloke on the highlight shouting, 'Hail Caesar. Congrats, mate. You started something cornier than Sneed. Bork.'"
I enjoy the word bork. I enjoy that.
It's up. Yeah, it's up there, isn't it? It's up there with calling someone a tit.
I've never heard it before, so that's what was most enjoyable about it, I think. Mark W said, "By all accounts, our pack dominated theirs. Our halves took total control, and our backs were more than ready to take advantage. You can't ask for more than that. 1 down, 28 to go." Does he think they're going to win 28 games, or...? I don't know, but anyway, big win for them this week and proved me wrong. And when I talk about star players, you know, you've got to start and finish almost with the halfback pairing, and I questioned whether these two could play together, and it turns out they work with each other pretty bloody well. So it was Caesar and Gaskell as star players. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself after one game too much, but they have seemingly shut me right up on questioning their ability to work together. What I'd not reckoned on too was Caesar's goal kicking. You sort of forget about anyone else being able to kick goals at Canberra, don't you, over the years? But on top of that, it was his all-round leading the team, creating things for the team. He seems to elevate his side, and with that, take his halfback partner along with him, which I think, you know, Huddersfield have got to be really pleased with. I think the work in the forwards and stuff was shared out amongst the group, which again is a good positive from a team point of view, that they have a clear leader there now, back after a couple of years of not having one in Aidan Caesar, and the team are going with him. Highlight moments, I think we need to make a brief mention for Sam Tompkins' try, because that looked like vintage Sam, really, breaking a tackle, finding himself in broken play and beating half the opposition team to get into score is what we used to see from Sam 7 or 8 years ago. But the best moments have to be those tries from the kicks for the Giants. Both Caesar's try just before half-time and McGilvery's try in the second half were really nice scores from the sort of kick plays that aren't really easy to execute in gameplay. One was a kick back across the grain, and the other one was a kick to the corner, sort of on the move, a pinpoint kick to the corner. So some work's clearly gone in on the training field to prepare this team for that. So well done to the Giants.
Yeah, well done. No, don't have anything else to say about this.
We'll move on to the double header then.
Yeah, first game of the double header. at Headingley or Emerald. Is it still Emerald Headingley? Is still
No
that?
idea. It's